My name is Larry Korn. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Matthew Hines, and I've been practicing law since 1987. I graduated from law school at Florida State University in 1987, and I worked at the Tallahassee, Florida Public Defender's office there for 10 years. With my family and I, we moved up here. My wife got a PhD, and she's a professor at Kennesaw State University. She teaches English. Our son was born. He is now 35. He has 2 children. So I have 2 grandchildren. We also have a daughter, 24, and she's still living with us. They both graduated from Georgia College and State University. I've been practicing criminal defense and only criminal defense since I graduated from law school. All I've done is represent people the police thinks have done something wrong. The reason I do that is I do not trust them to get it right. I've made it my calling to stand in their way when they try to hurt our clients, because it's been my experience, and this is 38 years of practicing law. It's been my experience that they cut corners, they make mistakes, they believe the wrong witnesses, they do whatever they can to close the case without regard for what is true or what is not true. Sometimes they just flat out make stuff up. Sometimes they get it right, but not often enough to the point where I'm going to trust them to get it right. So I feel like it's my job to hold their feet to the fire and make sure nothing but truth comes out. I've worked as a public defender, also in private practice, and I've handled every kind of case, from speeding tickets up to death penalty murder cases. I feel like it's been a good career. It's still going strong, and I am very proud of what I do, and I'm very proud of what I've accomplished and what I continue to accomplish. Once you get detained, it's important not to tell the police anything. If you've been detained, it's because they intend to arrest you. And all you can do at that point is give them information that can help them arrest you. So first rule is don't talk. Don't say anything. Just ask for your lawyer. That's the first and last thing you need to know. I'm not saying don't cooperate, but I am saying don't tell them anything. Just say, talk to my lawyer. And that's where we come in and we make sure things are handled right. Well, it depends on the sort of case, but definitely talking. That's the main problem that people have. I would say in DUI cases, I'd say it's doing those field sobriety tests. Never do those. Those are designed for failure. Everybody who takes them fails them, unless they're some kind of magical beast that can actually do these impossible exercises. I don't know. I'm not. I've tried. And the main thing is just don't give them evidence that they wouldn't otherwise have. Don't talk to the police, because that can only hurt you. They're not there to help you, they're there to hurt you. So that's first and foremost. Don't cooperate by giving them evidence. You talk to us, you talk to your lawyer, and we decide what evidence they need to know, what they don't need to know. You definitely want to have a lawyer involved as soon as possible, because if you don't, their evidence tends to go away. Like, for example, street videos from traffic cameras or cameras on the side of buildings, they don't last forever. People tend to recycle those recordings, and instead of storing them, they just get rid of them. So you need to have somebody on board as soon as possible to maintain the evidence. If for that reason alone, that's more than enough reason. But you also want to make sure you have somebody out in front advocating on your behalf, because if you don't, if you're on your own, they will take advantage of it. One thing I believe we do very well here is we work as a team. We have a great deal of experience, we have a great deal of knowledge, and we have a passion, an absolute passion for making sure people get represented in the best way possible, to make sure they're in the best position to work their case to be able to either beat the case or be in the best position possible given the circumstances.
So you believe in second chances?
100%. No one is as bad as they are on their worst day. So that's part of my calling, is to make sure the other side and the judges understand that everybody deserves a second chance. Nobody is as bad as they are on that day where this happened. Well, I've handled 2 death penalty cases while I was in Florida. Those are by far the most critical cases because the person's life was on the line. I was very fortunate. The first case, my client was found guilty, but he confessed to it. He was not going to get away with it, so to speak, but we were able to keep the jury from coming back with a verdict of a death penalty. And that was our win there, was keeping him from that. In fact, he's now eligible for parole. It's been that long. The other case was a death penalty case in which my client had shot somebody in the head and killed him and ran off to England, which was a good move on his part because England wouldn't extradite him unless the state waived the death penalty. They waived the death penalty. They brought him back here and they tried to give him the death penalty, and we had a multi-day argument in front of the judge about how they couldn't do that. And they tried to argue that, well, he waived extradition, and they said, no, he did not. Cut it right here. So that was a big win, and he ended up getting, in Florida, it was second-degree murder, and he's out of prison. He's done. I am proud and honored to work with this community. These are fine, hardworking people who absolutely deserve the best representation, and immigration has always been a part of this country since the very beginning, and I strongly believe that everybody should have a chance to stay here if they want to. My definition of defense is an aggressive, thoroughly prepared, look at it from all angles kind of defense where we uncover every stone, we turn over every stone, and we find out from every witness possible and find out that there's any more witnesses. Because a lot of times the police leave those off the reports. So we make it our business to be thoroughly prepared for every case and every trial, certainly. Public defenders are excellent, hardworking attorneys. I have nothing but a great deal of respect for each and every one of them. The concern there is that they have too many cases. I've worked as a public defender, and I know that carrying a caseload of 110, 120 felony cases is too much. You can't give the full measure of attention to each case that each case absolutely needs. Here at the Hines Law Firm, we are able to give each case that attention. And that's the main thing that differentiates what we do with what the Public Defender's Office does.